The world feels like it is slowly falling apart. War in Eastern Europe, tension in Asia, conflict in the Middle East, economic pressure everywhere, new alliances forming, old powers declining, and every day the news looks more chaotic. But here is the truth. The world is not chaotic. It is predictable. Countries are not acting randomly. Wars are not accidental. Conflicts are not emotional. They are geopolitical. And once you understand geopolitics, you start seeing the hidden logic behind everything happening in the world today. This is all you need to know about geopolitics and why the world is changing right now. Geopolitics is the study of how geography shapes power. It explains why countries fight, why alliances form, why wars happen in the same regions again and again. Geopolitics is not about ideology. It is about survival. Countries want three things: security, resources, influence, and geography determines how they try to get them. Mountains create borders. Oceans create trade routes. Resources create power. Location creates strategy. Geopolitics is the chessboard of the world. And today, 4 major conflicts are shaping the future of humanity. Imagine being the most powerful country on Earth. You control global trade. You control the oceans. You control the financial system. That has been the United States for the last 80 years. After World War II, America became the center of global power. The dollar dominated the world. The U.S. Navy controlled the seas. Western alliances shaped global politics. But now, a new power is rising: China. And this is the most important geopolitical rivalry of the 21st century. China is not just growing economically. It is building power strategically. It is investing in infrastructure across Asia, Africa, and Europe. It is building military strength. It is expanding trade routes. It is trying to reduce dependence on Western systems. And most importantly, it wants control of its surrounding region. This is where Taiwan and the South China Sea come in. Taiwan sits at the center of global semiconductor production. The South China Sea is one of the most important trade routes on Earth. Who controls this region controls economic power. The United States wants to maintain global dominance. China wants regional and eventually global influence. This is not just competition. This is a geopolitical struggle for leadership. A new Cold War is quietly forming, and the world is watching. Transition. But global leadership is not the only battlefield, because while the United States and China compete for the future, another power is fighting for survival. Russia has always feared invasion. Throughout history, armies have entered Russia from the West. Napoleon, Germany in World War I, Germany again in World War II. The geography of Russia is its biggest weakness. It has massive open plains and very few natural defenses. That is why Russia has always wanted buffer zones, countries between itself and Western Europe. After the Cold War, NATO expanded eastward. More countries joined the Western Alliance. More military presence moved closer to Russia. From Russia's perspective, this looked like encirclement. From NATO's perspective, it was protection and stability. And Ukraine became the breaking point. Ukraine is geographically critical. It connects Russia to Europe. It provides access to the Black Sea. It acts as a strategic buffer. When Ukraine moved closer to the West, Russia reacted. The result was war. This is not just about territory. This is about security. Russia wants distance from Western military power. NATO wants to prevent Russian expansion. Both sides believe they are defending themselves. And that is the dangerous reality of geopolitics. Fear creates conflict. Security creates war. Transition. But while Europe worries about security and power, another region holds the key to the world's energy. And that region has been unstable for decades. The Middle East is one of the most important regions on Earth, not because of ideology, not because of religion, but because of energy and geography. A huge percentage of the world's oil and gas flows through this region, and global economies depend on it. The Strait of Hormuz is one of the most critical choke points in the world. If it closes, energy prices explode. Economies collapse. Global trade suffers. This is why global powers are constantly involved in the region. Iran wants regional influence. Israel wants security. Arab states want stability and power. Global powers want energy access and safe trade routes. This creates constant tension. Conflicts in the Middle East are rarely isolated. They affect global energy markets, global trade, and global stability. The region sits at the center of geopolitical competition. Energy is power, and power attracts conflict. Transition. But something even bigger is happening. Not just regional conflicts, the entire global system is changing. For decades, the world was dominated by one power, the United States. This was called a unipolar world. One global leader, one dominant system, one economic center. But today, this system is changing. China is rising. Russia is challenging Western influence. Regional powers are growing stronger. Africa is becoming strategically important. Asia is becoming the center of global trade. New alliances are forming. The world is moving toward a multipolar system. Multiple centers of power, multiple alliances, multiple economic systems. This creates instability. Because when power shifts, tension increases. History shows this clearly. Rising powers challenge existing powers. Existing powers resist change. And global competition intensifies. This is exactly what we are seeing today. The world is reorganizing itself. Several forces are pushing the world into this geopolitical era. Globalization is slowing. Countries want independence in resources and production. Energy has become strategic again. Technology is becoming a battlefield. Trade is becoming political. Military power is returning as a key factor. The world is becoming more competitive, more strategic, more divided. This is not the collapse of the world. It is the transformation of the global order. The world is not falling apart. It is reorganizing. Geography still shapes power. Power still shapes strategy. Strategy still shapes conflict. And geopolitics explains it all. If you understand geopolitics, you understand why wars happen, why alliances form, and why the world is changing. Because geopolitics is not just about maps. It is about the future of humanity. If you want to understand the world in a clear and honest way, subscribe to Understanding the World. Because the more you understand geopolitics, the less confusing the world becomes.